Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his Monday expert, Mr. Greg Dickerson. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, Michael. Good to see you.
Nice to see you as well. So if folks don't know, I am a subscriber to your YouTube channel because you put out a lot of stuff. You have a lot of experience in areas I do not. So folks, follow his channel. And again, the channel name is?
Oh, well, Greg Dickerson.
Easy enough, right? It's not, one rental at a time. It's
You
Greg
stumped me there. I'm like, what is the name of my channel?
Oh, that's so funny. Hey, what I want to talk about was your last video, at least the last one I saw. I don't know if one came out this morning, was the importance of consistent action. I think that's something we have to hammer. I talk about focus and daily execution. I love that you put out a video on it. So why is consistent action important?
So, that's the key, taking action. So a lot of people have great ideas and great desires, a lot of things they want to do, but then they just don't do anything about it. And, it's funny, I was thinking a lot about this the other day. Action breeds more action, success breeds more success. But one of the ways to stay motivated and stay consistent and keep that discipline going is you got to get up and take action. And, if you just sit around and wait for something to happen and think something's just going to fall in your lap and happen, it just doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
You're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. To make things happen, you got to get up and you got to just do it. Whereas a lot of people are conditioned to wait for things to just kind of happen for them, because the way, we've been trained traditionally, if you go to school, get the education, get a good job, everything kind of happens for you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do what you're told, but you don't really have to go do it on your own. You don't have to take that initiative. And that's kind of what is wrong. And when I say wrong, that's where the inefficiencies come into play in corporate America, is that a lot of people just don't want to take that initiative. And, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, it's creative, right? So we go out and we create whatever it is we want, meaning you have to take action. So how does it work? You first the idea, then you have to believe in it, then you have to go out and put that into action. You have to do something and take action to move forward. And don't wait for somebody else, to do it for you. Don't wait for, the right time. Don't wait till you get around to it. Like Zig Ziglar, says, he takes a little round thing and writes to it on there and gives it to people. There's your round to it. So go do it. There's nothing to it but to do it.
I like that. Yeah.
And Nike, just do it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that's why action is so important, because it gives you confidence, it keeps you focused, it keeps you motivated, and you get little wins and the big ones along the way. But every single day you need to be doing something, moving towards your goal or whatever it is you want to do. And action creates confidence, action creates discipline, action creates more success. But it has to be focused, deliberate action, not just activity, right? You can be busy all day long and get absolutely nothing done. So you need to make sure it's the right kind of action, focused on the right vehicle that's going to get you to where you need to be going.
Yeah. And I just love the fact that that's actually step one of my course, how to get started one rental at a time. You create a buy box. It's very focused. And then, oh, by the way, you look at it every day for 20 minutes and you document the changes. Because again, it's that consistent action. You've got the market will speak to you, but if you don't do the work and you look every Saturday, you're going to miss everything. You've got to do it consistently. You got to get a little better every day. It's uncomfortable. The best thing I can link it to is a golf swing. Greg, have you ever played golf?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So at least for me, the first time I picked up a golf club, I was 19, I think. And I was a baseball player. So again, my golf swing was less than beautiful the first time I tried, because it's a different thing. It's you turn the body, your hips, your back, all that stuff is just different. But if you practice it, every day, you can get a little bit better. So
it's like martial arts or anything else. It's a lifelong pursuit. And, I'll equate it in the terms that, that will really drive it home for people, because again, we are the other, we're in the great resignation right now. So a lot of people are leaving corporate America to start their own business and to do the entrepreneurial thing that they've always wanted to do. So let's put it in those terms. I tell the story when I was at, one of the top business schools in the country, for the launch of a new incubator lab for entrepreneurs, and I was giving a little talk, and at the end of the talk, they're like, well, how did you start so many companies in such a short period of time? I'm like, wasn't this an entrepreneurial incubator lab? They're like, yeah. I'm like, well, they said, yeah, but we don't start businesses. We help businesses that have already started grow. We give them the resources they need to grow and to, be able to raise capital. And I was like you, I was like, wow, that's really, I never would have thought that, it's an entrepreneurial incubator lab. You would think it's a place for startups, but it's really not. It's a place to support startups that already began. So when I started answering that question, to these professors that are teaching at one of the top business schools in the country, how do you start a business? I said, well, first off, it's an idea. It's a problem I'm looking to solve. And then I say, literally, what I do is I come up with a name, I research that name, make sure that nobody else has it, that there's no .coms or whatever, domain that's easy to remember that I can register. Then I go check the corporation, in my state, and I register the name of the corporation. Then I go take that paperwork and some money and I open a bank account. And, then I go out and I start knocking on doors, depending on what that is.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's a service I have. You have a problem. I can fix it. Here's how much it's going to cost you. Yeah. So at the very simplest form, that's how a business starts. Mm-hmm. And then, you do what you can do yourself every single day. And then you add other pieces to the pie and fill in the gaps of what it is that you don't like to do, don't know how to do, or can't do, or don't have the time to support what it is that you do the best so that you can grow the business. So literally that's how a business starts. And again, you don't wait for anybody else to do those pieces. You don't wait for somebody to come tell you, hey, here's the name of your company. Go over here and register with the, wherever you need to register, get your business license, register with the corporation commission. If you need to register at the local county, whatever you got to do, then go open your bank account, then go out and get business, know. And it's easier today to get business than it was when I started. I literally had to go knock on doors, literally.
Yeah, physically.
When I started, nowadays you can go online, you can run ads, you can do all kinds of things and, that type of thing. But I mean, so that's what action is. And, here's the most important thing of all of that, and I had this conversation with somebody last week. Be careful who you share your vision with, because other people will, that haven't been where you want to go or haven't done what you want to do or beyond, will generally try to tell you why you can't do it or how you can't do it or why it's not going to work. So you want to make sure that you're very careful who you share your ideas and your vision with. You want to share them with people that have been where you want to go or beyond, or are doing what you want to do or beyond. Share your vision with them. Find people who will encourage you, build you up, help you. And, whenever somebody comes to me and says, hey, I have this idea, I'm like, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
So that's action. That's the difference. And people will describe me, say, how do you describe Greg? He gets things done. He makes things happen. He gets things done. If there's an idea, be careful. Like I said, who you share your ideas with. If you share it with me, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to hold you accountable to it. And that's kind of, how it works. So, that is action.
Yeah.
In a reality, rubber meets the road way of what it means and how to use it.
Yeah, it's really interesting because something I'm starting to play with and talk about more and more often is the difference between a player and a spectator. And one of the things that I've just seen is a happy accident, right? So I have this course, how to get started one rental at a time. I created a private Facebook group just for students like a year after I created it. And now that Facebook group is just that. It's that separate place where you get around other people doing the work, and to see them work together, network, congratulate each other, ask questions. It's amazing to watch. Because again, we don't all have
in that arena. So you have players, you have spectators, and you have critics, right? And the quote, the old famous quote about critics, right? That anybody can be a critic. I'll look it up while we're talking.
Yeah.
But that's the key. And there's nothing wrong with being a spectator. Because what are the spectators doing? They're usually cheering the players on, right?
Well, they're cheering or booing, one or the other.
Well, that's where the critics come in, and that's what you don't want to be, right? Yeah. So you don't want to be a critic. It's okay to be a spectator because sometimes that's how you learn.
Yep.
But what you don't want to be is a critic. And I'm gonna look this up while you're talking.
Yeah. As you do that, the one thing that I really try to help people realize is if you want to be a player, all it takes is a decision. And then I also remind people that practice. Right. One of the things we talked about earlier, we talked about learning your market 20 minutes a day. That's practice. You don't just jump on the court and you start a game and you start making deals. You've got to practice. You got to learn your market. You got to network. You got to know what you don't know. If you are just practicing, you are a player. You are on the court or the field or whatever you want to call it. So did you find the quote?
Yeah. So it's Theodore Roosevelt. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. But who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself into a worthy cause, Who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly. So that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat. So, that's one of the greatest quotes of all time. That's Roosevelt.
Wow. I will look that up. I did not heard that quote.
So that's your critic versus your spectator who can cheer you on and build you up and help you get to the end zone, because we need spectators, and then you need your players. Not everybody can be a player.
I like that. Critic.
You need both, but what you don't need and what you don't want are negative critics. Now there's critics that can help, again, give you constructive criticism. So again, careful who you share your vision with, right?
I love that. That is a big deal. You got to watch your network. You got to, because again, you share your vision with your current network. Some of those people don't, it's not that they don't want you to succeed, it's that they don't believe it. So they're going to pull you back. They're going to, don't do that. It's too risky. It's
and there's two answers you can get. You share your vision with the wrong network. Oh, that's a dumb idea. You'll never be able to do this. You can't do that. You share it with the right network. Man, that's a dumb idea. Why don't you go here?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? That's dumb. Go here. That's the right network versus the wrong network giving you the same answer.
That's awesome. Well, Greg, this is so much fun. People have to follow your YouTube channel. How do they do that?
Yeah, gregdickerson.com. That's where all my info is. YouTube podcast. Go check it out.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.